going on, Mark?
I'm just trying to figure out how Killer Croc gets food into his mouth. His arms don't seem to be long enough.
Exactly, like a T-Rex trying to. We are 1 year into the Absolute Universe now. This is issue number 12.
Oh man, time flies by.
Exactly. It was last October that we started the Absolute Universe, and with issue 12, we got a lot of things happening in the Batman Absolute Universe, and we'll talk about all of them right after this. Before we get started, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel as well. Hit the like button, leave us a comment, let us know how we're doing, and hit that notification bell so you're alerted whenever new content it magically appears on this channel. So, just exactly. Now you see him, now you don't.
What was that Arrested Development where he's always throwing the flame out?
Exactly.
Absolute Batman issue number 12. Paul, how did you think before you open this issue, how are they going to top the last issue? How are they going to shock us, awe us, give us something that we haven't seen before, blow our minds, keep us engaged? How do we not just tank in excitement from the last issue?
Yeah, because he basically, he put Batman through the ringer in the last episode.
Yeah, and they managed to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't do it by leveling up. They did it by just bringing a different angle. I didn't realize how many levels that they could apply to a character that's been around as long as Batman, but they're absolutely doing it. It's kind of mind-blowing. I'm very impressed with this.
It is. So we start this issue with Wayland, Killer Croc. Basically, if you remember at the end of the very last issue, Killer Croc basically saved Batman.
Yeah, 2 issues ago.
Oh, 2 issues ago, right, sorry.
Yeah. We're catching back up from that issue. Last one was the detour, the Origin of Bane detour.
Right,
yeah, Batman escaped Arc M with the help of Killer Croc in that issue, right? Isn't that what happened? It's been a while.
Yeah, I forgot that was last issue was a then issue.
Then gum before.
Right, exactly. So we find basically Killer Croc has saved Batman for one very selfish reason, and that is he wants Batman to kill him.
Yeah, he's not happy with his current state of existence. He's been experimented on. He's shaped like a crocodile man with a big old mouth with short arms. Right. Batman looks at him, sees he's in pain, pulls out his blade from his cowl, which is still pretty cool to me, and he holds his arm up, and he can't do it. He can't do it. Wayland demands that he does it, gets a little violent at him, roars at him with his big mouth, with his little arms, and then flops off just without hesitation, jumps into the sewer water, which is always surprising me. All these villains and people that are just non-hesitant to jump into sewer water, yet they do it. And you swim off.
Don't they know what's in sewer water?
That's how you get pink eye.
Among other things. If you just get pink eye, you're doing pretty well.
Yeah, if you come out with only pink eye, you won.
Exactly. So we, like you said, he swims off. Batman calls to him, says, "Hey, wait, we can beat this. Don't worry about it. We can do this." And then we get our big 2-page spread, title spread.
Yeah, foreboding things to come. You get like a little casino chip on fire flying through the air, and a person laying down that you can't quite see, but their arm reaching out, looking to stop it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we switch to is that Selina?
That's Selina and Bruce.
Then talking things over as well.
And, they're in a high-rise skyscraper apartment building, talking with a realtor person about the space and about how they can't afford it, but we can get around the system. If the system's going to not be fair to people to be able to afford such nice things like this, we don't have to be fair back. It's kind of setting the stage for Selina having that cat burglar instinct mentality that the system's trying to hold us down. I'm going to fight the system on the system's terms kind of mentality. But it also shows us that Bruce and Selina had a working relationship. And I believe there was a little dialogue about Wayland in there who has this fight that they've been talking about in these flashbacks.
Correct.
He's going to have to do a boxing match against Bibbo. And everyone knows he can't win. He was just a call in at the last minute to fill an empty slot. And Bruce is the only one that's been hyping him up that he can do it. And they're kind of brief little thing about that as well.
Right.
Like, you got to be truthful with him, man. He's going to die in there.
Exactly. He says he won't believe me. Don't worry about it. Flashback to now, where we see Alfred after a couple of missing issues.
We heard him a lot in the last issue, but we didn't see him.
Right. Who is helping to bring Bruce back. We see Bruce with all sorts of scars all over the place, on his head, on his back, everything that we saw he went through in the under the capture of Bane.
And we also see the green is running through the veins on his back where he was experimented on. He's clearly got some venom in there. Wherever he's got cracks and scars, it's the glow of green venom. This guy is not normal anymore.
Right, exactly. And we see he says he needs to leave. Alfred, being the man that he is, says you need to hear certain things. Things have changed. You're not you're in it. You understand, type thing. So even in this version of Alfred, he still tries to be kind of the mentor and the conscience and the all of those things to Batman, to Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, he mentions that there's a delivery system woven into your spine and brain now, all loaded with that compound venom. We need to figure out what's going on with you before you just take off out there.
Yeah, and he basically says, "Yeah, fine, that's fine. I need to leave."
Yeah, I need some sunlight. I gotta go touch some grass.
Right, exactly.
He's been gone for a long time. Like, it's good that we had that layover issue with the last one, because it helps impress how long it's been that Batman has been off the map. People have been worried.
And the first person he goes to see is his mother.
Yeah, but it's not an easy walk there. Along the way, we get the shot of the green venom in the blood and him stopping and grabbing his head. So we're seeing the effects taking hold, and that's not good, because the first thing his mom does when she sees him is slaps him.
Right. And that's when she says, have you seen or talked to, or he mentions actually, he mentioned all of his friends, Ozzy, and the first person he mentions is Ozzy, and she's like, you don't know about Ozzy? Let me tell you about Ozzy.
Then it cuts right to the hospital, where he's on the way to go figure out what's going on with his friends. He was informed along the way, but we, the reader, are going to get informed in real time in the hospital. Gordon's there, some other people there. People are guarding him, and they kind of explain, before we walk in there, you need to know that they were attacked. And this goes to the last page of the last issue, where Bane opens the door to find Harvey, Ozzy, and Edward, and we get to see what happened to them in this one. And we find out that Bane beat Ozzy, aka Penguin, and broke like every bone in his body, and beat him in a methodical way to make sure he didn't die. And he's just like a clump of swollen, broken flesh, who's like a foot and a half shorter now after the beating. Will never recover properly. Pins coming out of him, cords going into him, just yuck. Ew.
Yeah. And like you said, they mentioned specifically that he's much shorter than he was. That if he is able to walk at some point, he won't be walking like a normal human ever does anymore. Those type of things. But that's not the only thing that happened, like you said, because as they're talking more, they actually then mentioned, okay, well, what about Harvey? And he's like, oh, you don't. And they're like, every time he mentions somebody, they're like, oh, you don't know about them either.
Yeah. Well, him.
Yeah. Let me show you him.
All right. Well, this one was a little bit different. He didn't break all of his bones, but he did break his face. He broke it almost in half when we found him. It was completely separated, yet he was alive, and he lit him on fire. And he burned half of him, broke his face. He smashed a bottle over his head, doused him in, I think it was just alcohol that he was laying in, and he lit a poker chip on fire and dropped it on him. And he actually gets to talk to Harvey a little bit, who's you get the little first taste of like the duality, and Harvey's always wanting to kind of play both sides of things and this and that. And they kind of lean into the more traditional tropes of Two-Face with this one, and Harvey's not ready to accept things. But luckily, Edward is not hospitalized.
Yeah. I mean, Harvey says, when he says he's talking to Bruce, he's like, I only hate you half the time now.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that means he doesn't hate him half the time.
Right. And so obviously Bruce now, talks about, Edward Nygma. And so he goes and he finds Edward Nygma, who is basically, wired up.
Yeah, he's fine. He tells him, like, he walks in, Edward's like, oh yeah, I'm fine, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just working over here.
Yeah. I mean,
Are you
there's
though?
lots of
Are you?
tubes and wires into him and everything. He
Yeah, as he walks up and sees him, the first things he sees is his exposed freaking brain
definitely.
with tubes and wires. So Bane took a different approach with the would-be smart guy of the group. It said it only what did he say? He gave me a riddle, and it only took him a minute to beat me. Before I knew it, he was shaking my head, slamming the front of my brain into my skull, the frontal lobe, the part responsible for intelligence. Bang! It was wild, Bruce. Suddenly, facts became questions, questions everywhere. So he smashed his head and hooked him up to his little AI robot that he had built and shown us in earlier stuff when he was dealing with Black Mask Gang when they were trying to hack into their systems and all that. Edward had this technology, and we get this one shot of it with the thing from overhead where it has like this
Kind of like a question, kind of.
yeah.
Right?
It's got some exposed wires on the metal framing, and then his actual exposed brain on there. And what's funny is he has a screwdriver in his eyeball right there. Like, come on, man, what is happening? You're not okay.
We flash back to Bruce and some people playing golf. He's talking to Mr. Falcone. Sal Falcone is playing golf.
Yeah, this is going to the flashback of the time era when they were looking at how to beat the system to be able to afford this night's penthouse. They go to the crime lords of Gotham at the time, people that are now dead thanks to the Black Mask and the early, like I think issue 1.
Mm-hmm.
But they go to him and they pretty much tell him that we've robbed you. If you want your money back, give us some of your money, kind of thing.
Right. He's doesn't seem as though he's really swayed at all. Because you don't get to be the crime lord of Gotham City, by doing these type of things. But we don't really get an answer for the most part either. So,
no.
I'm sure we'll get back to that because what we do is we go back to Batman and Alfred in the Batcave. They're talking about things.
There's something interesting here. The first thing we see when he goes back to the Batcave, Batman's on his computer communicating with someone, telling them to stand down. And they said, "What do you mean stand down? Nothing's off. You don't get to tell the Red Hood gang what's," and then he cuts it off. And we get one shot of this terrible looking design for somebody from what's called the Red Hood gang. Is this the first time we're seeing something with the Red Hood gang?
I want to say that it was mentioned in one of the first issues, I believe. It was just mentioned.
Okay.
But yeah, so Alfred is there. He's talking about what can they do to try to take down the Black Mask and everything, and how they did that. And so he's like, so that's it. You're closing down the kids' operations and everything like that. And he says, he broke them, Pennyworth, my friends. And it's like, that's right, he did. And as they're talking, they realize that there's someone else in the cave with them.
The alarms are going off. He's here. It's time to arm up.
Right.
Alfred grabs a minigun.
Has followed them to the Batcave, but as we'll soon find out, that is not actually the case.
Alfred, they suit up, they arm up, and they get prepared. And then just this little tail comes down and yokes up Alfred and knocks him out and drops him. And it's none other than Selina. Well, how do you do, Bruce? And the design for Selina, Catwoman in this, is super reminiscent of Black Mask. It's almost like she's wearing one of his helmets.
Right.
We know that his helmets were stuffed full of technology and stuff. So we'll see what they do with her inside of the Absolute world.
Yeah. And that's where we leave it. Now, I believe before we get to issue 13, we will actually have the Absolute Evil special as well.
When's that come out?
The beginning of October. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I would expect that probably in the Flash, we'll probably get something with the Rogues that'll happen, where they're all together so that they can each, at least have their be in their evil personas for by the time Absolute Evil comes around. So where we're also going to get an Absolute Hawkman, we were told as well. So we're looking forward. We're definitely getting an Absolute Hawkman and an Absolute Green Arrow. Green Arrow is getting his own miniseries, and Hawkman is supposed to appear in the Absolute Evil special. So they are expanding.
That means they're just going to bring him in just so someone mean and bad can kill him, and we can think that they're actually mean and bad.
Right. And Scott Snyder did say that we will see all of the Robins except for Damian Wayne. So he's planning for all of them.
Okay.
So lots of stuff still to come. They got so much still planned. The first year, like I said, has just been, from a sales, just alone from a sales standpoint, it's just been bonkers.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure that will continue. So,
This is super cool. This whole absolute line, like the whole thing in theory and in practice, is what happens when creative writers are able to not be restricted by editorial to a large degree, because they're not in continuity. They don't have all the backstory. They don't have the forward plans and stuff. Like, and this has just been, what a wild ride. It's been good.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll be here along with the ride all the way through. So
yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, but that's going to be it for this edition of DC Comics Deep Dive. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to leave a comment. Don't forget the notification bell. But I am Paul. He is Mark.
But we are Legion.
And you're now leaving Sector 2815.